Absolutely. It's another bright, brilliant, beautiful Thursday morning, and you're welcome to your favorite sports show on the radio. It is Sport Fiesta, reaching live from 92.7 KUFM, and down here in Benin City. I am the sports Berlusconi, Sanofi Francis. I also have the Ibrahim sports Saliu Ibrahim and Eghosa Aigbika, the sports maestro. Together, we're going to be giving you updates and, of course, what to expect today as far as the African Cup of Nations 2017 in Gabon is concerned, as well as what is going on right now in the Australian Open. Novak Djokovic came back from a set down to win the first, the second, the third, and they are in the fourth set, and it's not going easy for the former world number one. And of course, for Manchester United, they've agreed a fee for Memphis Depay to join Lyon in the French Ligue. And of course, some basketball stories for you, the results of games played yesterday and what to expect from the NBA today. We have the fixtures for you, and definitely we'll also talk about some athletics and, of course, all that happened yesterday in Nigeria as well, as far as the Nigerian Professional Football League is concerned. But first, let's head straight to Gabon and talk about the African Cup of Nations. Guys, good morning.
Good morning, Francis. Good morning, Ibrahim. Well, concerning the African Cup of Nations, well, yesterday we expected that the host, Gabon, would take advantage of being the host and with the support of their fans, though the stadium was not fit to capacity. But for them to rally back and level the scores, and the game ended 1-1, shows that they have a mountain to climb in order for them to stand a chance, of qualifying from that group. Well, all the same, they can win their last game. I think that will give them 5 points. That will take them to the quarterfinals. But for the indomitable Lions of Cameroon, well. Before the competition, some of the players, opted not to play for the Indomitable Lions. Players like Joe Matip of Liverpool, as well as Watford, West Bromwich, and I am Neon, who also opted not to play for Cameroon. So, but despite that, they struggled really, and with the likes of Turkey-based striker, Besiktas striker Vincent Abubakar, who is very, very, who's firing from all cylinders. We saw what he did in the UEFA Champions League and all that. Well, we thought, okay, well, they can, shoulder the responsibility of the country and, roll past debutant Guinea-Bissau. But all the same, it was Guinea-Bissau who went in front in the first half, and they, won that first half. But in the second half, well, they came back strong and they scored 2 goals, which gave them their first victory. Now they are top of the group, their group right now, which goes to show that, yes, they are ready to fight for the tournament, and also had to the 4 trophies they've won before. But all the same, the coach wasn't too happy with them, but I think they can bounce back from that and continue to fire from also leaders in their next game in order for them to stand a chance of adding to their trophies.
Yeah, I think the Indomitable Lions have put themselves in a very good position to qualify for the quarterfinals of this competition at a point when after the game between Gabon and Burkina Faso ended 1-1, and after Cameroon equalized against Guinea-Bissau, I thought this whole group would just be 1-1 all through, but Cameroon got a late goal, and that has now given them 4 points in the competition. Well, Gabon, I think they've put themselves in a very difficult position. The one match that everybody expected them to win was the first game against Guinea-Bissau. If they had won that and had drawn yesterday, it would have been 4 points for them. And the last game against Cameroon, maybe try and play for a draw and they will be through. But now a draw might not be good enough for them, because we've got Guinea-Bissau on 1 point. If they win their last game, they go to 4 points. So a draw for Gabon will not be good enough. In the last game between Guinea-Bissau and Burkina Faso, any of the country that wins that game will qualify for the next round. And that makes it extremely difficult for Gabon. They now must win. It is a must win for Gabon. Otherwise, they will just be out of the competition, except if they play a draw. Then Burkina Faso and Guinea-Bissau also play a draw. So it is really dicey in this group, because we've got Cameroon top with 4 points, Burkina Faso 2 points, Gabon 2 points, and Guinea-Bissau 1 point. And we have just one round of matches left. Not much excitement in the African Cup of Nations, but some of the star players, I think we can say that they have lived up to expectation. 2 matches, 2 goals for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. 2 matches, 2 goals for 1 match, 2 goals for Riyad Mahrez. We've seen Sadio Mane. Hopefully, we are going to see him again today in action, because Senegal will be playing against Zimbabwe and Algeria taking on Tunisia. So the African Cup of Nations for me has not really sparkled, although we agree that it is the rise in quality of every team. There is no team that is a pushover anymore. There is no team that you just come and you expect to. Look at Guinea-Bissau holding. Yes, they are bottom of Group A, but they have not been disgraced at all. Against the indomitable Lions of Cameroon, 4-time champions, they lost 2-1 at the point. They were 1-0 ahead. At the points, they were 1-1. It just shows that football in Africa has developed. But, for those of us who are neutrals, the Super Eagles of Nigeria are not there, so we will want to see more excitement. We are not seeing that yet in this competition. Let's hope that when they all qualify for the quarterfinals, or even from the last round of matches, they are going to become free and play with much expression, because right now everybody is being careful. Nobody wants to lose, and maybe that's why we are seeing this level of competition. So maybe when it gets to the last round of matches, where you either win or you are out of the competition, they are going to explode and give us more quality on the pitch.
Okay, now looking at still with the Group A, you said if Cameroon themselves with 4 points is still not guaranteed that they will go through. Burkina Faso with 2 points, a win for them against Guinea-Bissau, they will have 5 points obviously. And if for Cameroon in their last game, should Gabon take the advantage of using the home crowd and being at home to win against Cameroon, they will have 5 points themselves. So it's still possible for the Cameroonians who won yesterday to not go through to the next round.
Yeah, it's only when Cameroon lost.
If they lose to Gabon, and of course Burkina Faso gets to win. Yeah,
that's when they will not qualify.
Yes, and if you look at it, there's no way they are not going to fight for points against the host nation if they are to qualify, because the coach yesterday wasn't impressed, and he saw the lapses, that they made in the first half, and they now improve on that. That was what gave them the win. But against the host nation, knowing full well that the whole stadium that was not fit to capacity yesterday might, the fans might trooped out on that day to ensure that Gabon gets the maximum points, and for Cameroon,
the fans will not play. It is the 11 players.
Yeah, we know, but when the stadium is fit to capacity, somehow it gives them that extra.
But is it possible for Cameroon to lose?
Everything is possible in football. In football, you either win, lose, or draw. I mean, Real Madrid went 40 matches unbeaten, and we thought they had arrived. Zinedine Zidane said they were going for the treble, and suddenly they've lost 2 matches back to back. So it's possible. Anything is possible in football. But you've got to say Cameroon are in a very good position to qualify. They know that all they need to do to ensure qualification is just to avoid defeat. And if there is any team in Africa that knows how to avoid defeat, you've got to say it is the indomitable Lions of Cameroon. Yeah, particularly when it is not knockout yet, when if they play goalless or 1-1 or 2-2, they must go to penalties. This one, all they need is that 1 point to be absolutely sure of qualification. And I think they are good enough to get it. It's going to be extremely difficult because the host country will be coming all out. They know that it is only victory that might guarantee them qualification. They could draw and still qualify depending on what happens in the last game, in the other group game between Burkina Faso and Guinea-Bissau. But you've got to really fancy the Cameroonians of qualifying, because they find themselves in a position right now. Cameroon, they are the only team that can lose and still qualify. That's how it is. They may lose this game and still, that's their game against Gabon, and still qualify for the quarterfinals. That's if Guinea-Bissau and Burkina Faso play a draw. Cameroon has qualified automatically without irrespective of what happened in their game against Gabon. So we've got to say the indomitable Lions are favourite, but then in football, anything can happen.
Okay. And of course, later today in Group B, you have Algeria against Tunisia, Senegal against Zimbabwe. It would be definitely the clash of the Northern Africans. Algeria against Tunisia. Recently, obviously, with the arrays of stars that the Algerians, they are parading right now, you also give the book, obviously, bookmakers tip Algeria to go past Tunisia. Tunisia in their very first game, they didn't do very well. In fact, they lost against Senegal. And, of course, Zimbabwe had their against Algeria, against the odd. They played out a 2-2 draw against Mahrez led side. But this time around, it's Algeria against Tunisia.
Yeah, Northern African battle, and if you look at it, going to the game today, we all would tip Algeria, due to the fact that they have.
I'm not tipping Algeria.
Well, why? I want to. I was just finished, but I want to know why Ibrahim is not tipping the Algerians to get past Tunisia.
Yeah, well, to me, I think Tunisia, they have a good side, a good defense, no doubt. Though they lost to Sadio Mane's inspired Senegal, but if you look at the attack of the Algerians, despite the fact that they were head to a 2-0 draw by Zimbabwe, but I'm still tipping them because of Riyad Mahrez. Though Islas Limani is doubtful, he might still make the team, and the likes of Ibrahim, who plays for FC Porto. So he puts together, I'm tipping them over Tunisia due to the fact that, yes, they were at one time the better side in Africa, and right now, going to that game, I think they stand a chance of getting past the Tunisians. Unless the Tunisians put up a brilliant performance and ensure that they get the maximum points, that's when I'll say, okay, they are better than the Algerians. But going to that game,
at one point, the Algerians were undoubtedly the best nation in Africa, and that's why they were ranked number 1 in Africa for such a long time. But we've seen them lose that aura of invincibility that was surrounding them. We saw them in Uyo, and we saw how the Super Eagles were able to beat them. And we've seen them at the African Cup of Nations, their very first match against Zimbabwe. If there was one match, if you were asked before this competition started to predict one match, you're absolutely sure Algeria were going to win, it will be against Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe, on paper, are the weakest team in this group. But we saw Algeria play against them, and it was a 2-2 draw. And in spite of the fact that they had reigning African Footballer of the Year, Riyad Mahrez, who got the 2 goals for them, he himself said they've got to improve, that every player has got to bring their best to ensure that they do well in their next game. And when you are playing against your North African rivals, look, I've always said this, when it comes to intense rivalry, you throw form out of the window. Tunisia could lose to Senegal, but when they are playing against their fellow North Africans, if you follow the history of football in Africa, you will know that these guys, yes, there are rivalries all over the continent, but the North African rivalry gets to, it takes it to a different dimension. In Egypt, when Zamalek and Al Ahly are playing, they bring officials from outside the country. That's how intense their rivalry is. So when it is Algeria versus Tunisia, or Morocco versus Egypt, or Libya versus Algeria, you always have very stiff competition. So it is usually very, very difficult to call. And that's why I cannot say Algeria are favorites in this match. They could win. They may just go out there and run over Algeria. It's possible. But if you follow the history of football in Africa, you know that the North African rivalry, it's something that you cannot just call, particularly when it is in a Nations Cup, as we are going to have later today, Algeria versus Tunisia.
Okay, going into the game, of course, the group, this is how they stand right now. Senegal top of Group B with 3 points because they won their game against Tunisia. Algeria have just 1 point from one game. Same with Zimbabwe because they played out a 2-2 draw in their very first game. And Tunisia will certainly be fighting for their very first points of the tournament when they trade tackles with their another African counterpart, Algeria, because they lost their very first game to Senegal. Now, coming down home to Nigeria, where FC Fayoba bounced back from a show of shame to defeat MFN FC 4 goals to 0 at home, but former Nigerian champions, Aba International, I can't say same for them. They themselves have a whole lot of work to do. They lost against Plateau United 3 goals to 1.
Yeah, but it was disappointing when I saw that scoreline. I said, well, Enyimba International, they still have a lot to do because they were former champions and also 2-time champions of the CAF Champions League. But this season, playing against Plateau United, last season did not do well, though they went away, but I thought they could get something out of that game, just like Rangers International did. They got a point away. Then as well as Rivers United, got a point away. So I thought Enyimba could get something like same thing. But losing 3-1 to Plateau United was a disappointing one. And right now I think the players will be disappointed and they have to do go back to their drawing board, do what is right to ensure that they start getting points in order for them to stand a chance of contending for this 2016-2017 league title. But all the same, I think it's a warning for them that no team is a pushover right now. Even the newly promoted side like Remo Stars, Gombe United, Katsina United, you don't have to take them for granted or else you get the shock of your life. So I think the next game they will improve and get a victory right there at their home stadium.
Another team that will be very disappointed right now is Rangers International. Their first match they lost 2-1 to Abia Warriors. Now in their second game they only managed to get a point. And in the first round of the matches we saw 2 away wins and I think 1 draw. But this time we've not gotten an away win. But there is one match still left. El Kanemi Warriors versus Wiki Tourists is going to be played today. So who knows? There could be an away win for the second round of matches. So let's just look at the other results. Yes, Kano Pillars too, I think they will be disappointed because they got beaten 1-0 by Lobby Stars. FC Fanyba, as we said, beat Mountain of Fire 4-0. Mountain of Fire started very well, won their first game 3-0, and now they've lost their second game. Niger Tornadoes and Abubakar Bukola Saraki played out a 1-1 draw. Aqua United, Godwin's team, they played a 1-1 draw with Rivers United. Then, as we mentioned earlier, Nasarawa United won, Rangers International 1. Then we've got Abia Warriors 2, Katsina United 0. And Abia Warriors are flying at the moment. 2 wins out of the 2 matches that they have played. Gombe United 2, Remo Stars 1, Plateau United 1-2-3, Enyimba International 1. Then Sunshine Stars 1, 3 SC 0. So those are the results of the matches. And as we have also said, El Kanemi Warriors will be playing against Wiki Tourists. But that's not all from the Nigerian Professional Football League, because the league management company, the body in charge of running the league, they have slammed a fine of 2.7 million on the MPFL champions Rangers International, and that is for breaches in their opening day fixtures. They are not alone. Lobby Stars and Niger Tornadoes, they were also fined 100,000 naira each because of breach of jersey codes. There are certain ways you have to, certain things you must do. The logo of the club, the names of the players, all these things must be clearly visible on the jersey. So the LMC says that these 2 clubs violated that. But for Rangers International, theirs is much. There were certain things that they did which was not supposed to. The LMC says that 2 men went to the dressing room of the referees, to intimidate them because of the game that was going on at that time, and they did not properly restrict the movement of people, and they said they breached rule B13.52, and they also said that they failed to restrict the movement of unauthorized people, and that some people gained access to the referee's changing room and caused all sorts of problems there. So this message was read by the chief operating officer of the LMC, Saliu Abubakar.
And again, this is a big one to all fans out there.
Yes,
please,
yes,
when you
yes,
go,
because Rangers also violated rule 13.18. That's this one deals with encroachment of field of play by the fans and throwing of objects onto the field of play by the club supporters.
So please, when you go out there to watch a football match, it's not compulsory that your own team at home must win a football match. It is so wrong for you to move out there and fight with the officials, whether on the pitch or off the pitch, or you go straight to their dressing rooms and then get to cause chaos. Now you just cost your own club to pay millions of naira now in this kind of time that you need that kind of money to invest back into the football club You get them to become one of the best, not just in Nigeria, but in Africa. Seriously, you are going to be competing in the continental tournament. You need all these monies that you guys are throwing away.
Yeah, and for some people who are wondering or who have some misgivings and they say, look, they just find these clubs, they don't actually collect the money. I don't think that is true because, at the end of the season, each club gets some monies from the LMC. So what they do is to deduct it. If you are entitled to 20 million naira, for instance, I'm just giving an example, at the end of the season, and you've been fined 3 million, what they do is to give you 17 million instead of the 20 million. So you must pay the fine one way or the other.
And it's sad right now. Okay, quickly, let's move abroad a little bit now. We'll take our first bus stop in England. Manchester United have been named the world's leading revenue-generating club, and they are not in the Champions League.
Well, the interpretation of that is that they are the richest club in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, it's confusing. I understand how they are making the money, but for a club that's not playing in Europe, talking about Champions League, not Europa League, obviously they are in Europa League, it's confusing a little bit.
It shouldn't be confusing. I think this is their first time since 2003-2004 that they have named the number one, the richest club in the world. When you talk about revenue, there are ways they get money from revenue, from marketing. If you look at just this season alone, the sales of Pogba and Zlatan Ibrahimovic, the sales they get from their jersey alone, give them a whole lot of money. Same thing with when Cristiano Ronaldo moved over to Real Madrid. In a day, they sold thousands of jerseys. So these are one of the
Beckham broke that record in 1 week. The money that Real Madrid paid the Beckham, they got the money.
Got him through
in 1 week.
Through sales of jerseys. So that for Manchester United, they are good in doing that. And when they bring in big players, they intend to sell enough jerseys in order for them to get money. So it's not surprising that they are the richest club right now.
It is the Deloitte Money League for 2015-2016 season. That is, we're talking about the immediate past season. And we have Manchester United that they generated more revenue than any other club in the period under review. They made a total of 689 million euros. That is 515.3 million pounds. In that period, Barcelona made 620.2 million euros, which is 463.8 million pounds. Then Real Madrid, for a long time they were top. They are now third. They made 620.1 million pounds, followed by Bayern Munich in fifth position, 592 million euros. Manchester City are fifth. They made 524.9. Then we have Paris Saint-Germain, sixth, who made 520.9. Then Arsenal are seventh. They made 468.5. Then Chelsea, eighth, 447.2. Liverpool, ninth, 403.8. Then Juventus, 10th, 341.1 million pounds, million euros.
Yeah, you know what a friend of mine said this morning. He said after he saw all these money, the Arsenal plays seventh in the world, the richest club in the world for now, and he, as a Wenger, should not come again this summer and tell him that Arsenal they don't have money
to purchase big players.
The problem is not Arsenal. Arsenal has always been in the top 10. There's never a time that I think the club that you should even be saying, okay, this club is really trying to get in there is Chelsea. They have been, I think, consistently moving up, and maybe the way they are now very close to Arsenal, because Arsenal has made 468.5. Then you've got Chelsea 447.4.
Yeah.
So the problem with Arsenal is not that they didn't, since they completed the building of the Emirates Stadium, they've always had money. But Arsene Wenger questions, and in a way, you've got to agree with him, because we've seen some players that have been bought at exorbitant fees and they have not performed to expectation. So you wonder why you need to spend so much money. We're seeing it in China now. People just spending money anyhow on these players, and you wonder, are the players actually worth it? Will these clubs be able to sustain that model of paying so much money to these players in a couple of years' time? Will it work out? Anyway, if you have a solid business plan, Like you have, you generate revenue from sale of jersey, from tickets. That's why you see clubs, Tottenham Hotspur, Chelsea, other clubs, even Liverpool recently expanded, their stadium. They want to get more revenue on match day. That alone, if you have a stadium that's like Manchester United, the biggest in England with 76,000 capacity, and every match day, you know how much you will be collecting from the revenues. The same thing with Arsenal, over 60,000. Now you have Tottenham Hotspur will be 61,000. Chelsea are going to go to 60,000. It gives you more money when you add that to the other means of generating revenue, sale of jersey, merchandising, other things that you do, the branding of your jersey. Chelsea just went with Yokohama. You know how much they are getting. They will soon be doing with Nike. The same thing with Manchester United. Have different brands supporting them, and that's how these clubs make their money. So that's why they can afford to sometimes buy players at certain amounts and pay them ridiculous wages.
Okay, still talking about Manchester United. From the information we're getting, that Memphis Depay, they've agreed with Lyon to allow him go. And thus far, from when he joined from PSV, he has got just 2 Premier League goals for Man United.
Yeah, he has not. He didn't hit the ground running when he came. And right now he's not finding it easy under Jose Mourinho. So I think it's best for him to leave for Lyon. And Lyon right now, they also have former Manchester United player, I think, Rafael da Silva, who plays for Olympique Lyon. So moving to Lyon, we give him that chance, that opportunity to revive his career back. We saw what happened to Mario Balotelli. He wasn't okay with Liverpool. He didn't hit that form we all expected from him with Liverpool. But since moving to Nice, he's one of the deadliest striker right now in Nice. So for me, I think it's good for Memphis Depay to move over to Lyon, revive his career, then also stand a chance of getting a shirt with the Netherlands.
But it's confusing. I mean, all the players, the big name players that former boss Louis van Gaal brought him. Morgan Stanley has left for £25 million. 24 million pounds. They bought him for £25 million from Southampton. Now, of course, Angel Di Maria came in from Real Madrid for £59.7 million. He left for Paris Saint-Germain for £44.3 million. Then, of course, Memphis Depay now. Then, of course, Bastian Schweinsteiger is also having this problem. They came in for £14.4 million from Bayern Munich. A whole lot right now, big names that came in during Louis van Gaal. They are not really hitting. They didn't really read the ground.
Yeah, but when you saw the performance of Manchester United in the league during that period, yes, they went on to win the FA Cup, and that's why eventually he was fired, because apparently he brought in players that did not really fit in with the Manchester United way of playing. Yeah, he had his own philosophy, came, wanted to do so many things, but it just did not work out for him. Even Jose Mourinho, having issues at the beginning of the season, is just now trying to really get United to play the way he wants and the way the club is traditionally known for. A club that never gives up, a club that is known for winning trophies, a club that should not be playing in the Europa League in the first place. So Memphis Depay, well, I think it is not a bad deal for Manchester United. They signed him for about £25 million pounds from PSV Eindhoven in May 2015, and now they are selling him for 16 million, but we hear that he's going to rise up to 21.7 million pounds. So when you consider everything, it is not such a bad deal for Manchester United.
Okay, quickly, the FA Cup replays yesterday. Newcastle United defeated Birmingham City 3-1. Plymouth lost to visiting Liverpool 1-0. Lucas Levy getting on the score sheet for Liverpool. Then Southampton narrowly defeated as well Norwich City 1-0. Eghosa, now we can have the full draws of the FA Cup. Now let's take a look at it.
All right, the full draws, the fourth round draws goes like this. Tottenham Hotspur.
Fourth round fixtures.
First round fixture, yeah. Tottenham Hotspur at the White Hart Lane, we entertain Wycombe Wanderers. Derby County versus Leicester City. Oxford United versus Newcastle United. Sutton United will take on Leeds United. Liverpool will trade tackles with Wolverhampton Wanderers. Southampton will entertain Arsenal. Lincoln City versus Brighton United. Chelsea will take on Brentford. Manchester United at Old Trafford. At Old Trafford, we entertain Wigan Athletic. Millwall will entertain Watford. Rockdale versus Huddersfield Town. Burnley will take on Bristol City. Blackburn Rovers will face Blackpool. Fulham we entertain Hull City. Middlesbrough will take on Accrington Stanley. Crystal Palace we entertain Manchester City. And all ties are scheduled to be played between 27th and 30th of January.
Okay, there you have it. Now, quickly, let's head to Spain already. We already spoke about it earlier. That Real Madrid, they've lost the two games back-to-back now after going 40 games of unbeaten. Now, this one happened just yesterday here. It's sad because they were at home in the Copa del Rey first leg quarterfinals, and it was Celta Vigo that did the damage to Real Madrid. 2 goals to where it ended.
Yeah, it was a shock one for Real Madrid after the 40th game unbeaten run came to an end but when they lost their last game
to Sevilla
2-1. So we all thought Real Madrid would bounce back, and Cristiano Ronaldo played his first game in Copa del Rey, in his first appearance, and it wasn't okay for them. Though 4 players were rested, from that squad that faced Sevilla. Karim Benzema did not start, and you have Marcos Asensio in place. Though he got injured, and Ronaldo, who was at the center of the attack, now moved to his position. Then Alvaro Morata, came in, and the 3 goals came in the space of 6 minutes. Though the first half was, ended in stalemate in the draw. Then the second half, the 3 goals came out. Marcelo scored one, while Eghosa from Liverpool striker got one. Then Johnny got the winner for Celta. I think though Madrid should be very lucky, and that it's a 2-legged affair. If it to be 1-leg affair, they would have been out right now. So Zinedine Zidane still stand a chance of winning the treble. He dreamt of winning with Real Madrid. So all they need to do is to go away to Celta Vigo and score 2 goals.
2 unreplied goals.
2 unreplied goals.
Well, you've got to look at the situation now and wonder if it is not what Zinedine Zidane said about winning the treble. I mean, they were doing okay without him saying anything. They had won 40 matches unbeaten. They've gone 40 matches unbeaten, and he said that they were now gunning for the treble. The moment he said that, they started having problems. They played the game against Sevilla, and they lost in the La Liga. Then they now played in the Copa del Rey and lost again to Celta Vigo at the Santiago Bernabeu. And Real Madrid is one club that the pressure is on consistently. It doesn't matter how well you have done. Believe me, if they lose their next game or if they fail to get a win in their next game, you start hearing rumors of Zinedine Zidane about to be fired. That's how much Real Madrid want to win every game that they play. We hope that they bounce back. After they lost the first game, he said that is not a problem. He's leaning on his club. He knows that his players are good enough that they are going to bounce back and all that. But now they've lost back-to-back. But I think the good thing is that it is not a final. It is not knockout at the moment. Even when they lost in the La Liga, they still have the luxury of a game in hand. Yes, they are just 1 point ahead of Sevilla. But if they win their game in hand, it becomes 4 points. So they still have a cushion. In the Copa del Rey, yes, they lost at home, but there is still a second leg. And if they win that game, they score 2 goals and they do not concede any, then they will qualify for the semi-finals. But then they might even win and lose and miss out. That is, if they win 1-0, it will still be all over for them because of the 2 away goals that Celta Vigo were able to score. And they still have some problems now because Carvajal, we hear he has injured his hamstring. They said it's a second-grade hamstring injury, and that means that he will be out for at least a month. He's going to miss some matches, including at least the first leg when they play against Monaco in the Champions League.
Okay, that's where I can come. Lost at home to visiting Deportivo Alaves 2 goals to nil. Today, stay in the Copa del Rey. Atletico Madrid with 3 tackles. Aiba, while Rashida will be home against Barcelona. Then in the Coppa Italian yesterday, Sassuolo lost against Cesena 2 goals to 1. Lazio defeated visiting Genoa 4 goals to 2. While today, AS Roma with 3 tackles with Sampdoria. Now, we'll take a quick commercial break. When we come back, we'll be heading straight to the Australian Open. It is not going easy for the defending champion and the former world number 1, Novak Djokovic. All this and many more we'll talk about after this break. Please stay with us.
This is Madonna.
Hey, this is John Bon Jovi.
Hey, this is Steven Tyler from Aerosmith.
Hey, this is Kylie.
Hi, this is Simon.
It is the gathering of gas generals across the land as the Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria Incorporated presents our 14th National Biennial Conference. Theme, From Glory to Glory. Date, from Tuesday 7 to Thursday night, February 2017. Time, Tuesday 7, 4 p.m., Wednesday 8 and Thursday night morning session, 6 a.m., then evening session, 4 p.m. daily. Venue, UBTH Ground, Ugbo, Lagos Road, Benin City, Edo State. Bringing God's word to you in this conference are Reverend Dr. Maokbai, Pastor E.A. Adeboye, Bishop Mike Okonkwo, Pastor Ayo Orise Jafo, Pastor W.F. Kumoyi, Archbishop Margaret Eghosa, Bishop David Oyedepo, Pastor Paul Adefarasin, Reverend Dr. Mercy Ezekiel, other anointed ministers of the gospel. Chief host, Reverend Dr. Phyllis Anabode, National President PFM. There will be a special youth impartation service on Wednesday, February 8th at 9 a.m. There will also be free transportation. From glory to glory. Local Organizing Committee announcer.
All right, thank you so much for staying with us on the show. Just in case you're just joined by this time, 92.7 KUFM, it is Sport Fiesta, and you're hanging out with the trio, the Sports Berlusconi, Sanofi Francis, the Ibracadabra of Sports, Salu Ibrahim, and Eghosa Aigbik, and the Sports Maestro. And of course, together we'll be talking about football. Now, let's head straight to tennis. And of course, Novak Djokovic lost the very first set, came back in the second one, in the third one, in the fourth.
It's not there in the fourth now.
Now, in the fourth now, in the fourth, it's
5-3.
It is 6-6, and they're in a tie break.
Yeah.
You have Dennis Istomin leading
5-3.
5-3.
I mean, it should be a simple job for Djokovic.
It is
to
now
go
6-3.
through. Okay.
It's now 6-3. So he's just a point away from winning the fourth set. That's talking about Dennis Istomin, and we'll go to the fifth set.
And the same thing happened in the first round. In the first set, it ended in a tie break. Then Dennis Istomin got to win that set 7-6. And the second set, though Djokovic came out stronger, and his backhand was too strong for Istomin to give answers to. But all the same, Istomin is the way he bounced back right now, and the way he's playing right now, I think it's really giving Djokovic a run for his money. It's not really. It is not what everyone expects from Djokovic. Everyone thought, okay,
he's still leading.
Yeah,
at the moment he's leading.
Yeah,
so.
but Istomin, the way Istomin is playing against Djokovic right now, it goes to show that let's just not see.
You expected him to just come to the court and roll over
him. I know that anyone playing against a top ranked player.
The thing is, Istomin even had chances to go 2 sets to love up in this game. But Djokovic came back strong in that second game. And that's what champions do. Because Istomin broke him in the second set. And many thought that, okay, he will just go on to do it. But Djokovic came back. He's got this very strong mentality. And that's why he's still in the game. But we've got Istomin serving now. So if he's able to drop an ace, then it will be all over in this second set.
Can he?
No,
that's next.
Yes, so he's got to reserve. 6-5, he's leading. He needs just 1 point. But, this is where all the pressure tells on you. It is 6-5 at the moment. And many players fail to get this point. Is that a double fault? It is an ace, so Istomin has got it. So it is now 2 sets apiece. We are going to the fifth set. And I think this is what neutrals, except fans of Djokovic, they are the only ones that will not be happy with what has just happened. Because Istomin has really gave a good account of himself, and we are going to see a fifth set in the second round of the Australian Open.
Well, let's hope that something like what happened yesterday when Dan Evans, upsets Barry Silic, former US Open champion. Yeah. Let's hope that such didn't repeat today, because if he repeats today, then Andy Murray gets to win his next game. Then Andy Murray will continue as world number one, because this season Novak Djokovic said he will try his possible best to reclaim his spot, but from the way things are going, except he win this game, then he will stand a chance of reclaiming his spot.
Gail Monfils just beat Delgopolov in 4 sets, so Gail Monfils is through to the third round.
Okay, and as we are earlier today, Gail Zemola lost to Milos Raonic 6-3, 6-4, 7-6, and of course Milos Raonic, the Canadian, are doing very well. Of course, Richard Gasquet also progressed 6-1, 6-1, 6-1. That was a little bit easy for him to get to the next round of the Australian Open. Those are just some selected results from the game. Of course, early hours of late last night rather, David Ferrer of Spain also went through 6-4, 6-4, 6-2 early hours of this month. Later today, Nadal will be playing Dominic Thiem against Jordan Thompson, who will also be playing later today. That should be by noon with the Nigerian time today. Now, quickly, let's take a look at results from the games from the world of NBA. They played games last night. Charlotte Hornets defeated visiting Portland Trail Blazers 107-85 points. Philadelphia 76ers also enjoyed comfortable 94 points to 89 points against the Toronto Raptors at home. Then elsewhere, Washington Wizards at home also defeated visiting Memphis Grizzlies 104-101 points. Boston Celtics lost their game to New York Knicks 117-106 points. Detroit Pistons defeated visiting Atlanta Hawks 118-95 points. Houston Rockets won their game against the Milwaukee Bucks 111-92 points. New Orleans Pelicans defeated visiting Orlando Magic 118-98 points. Golden State Warriors enjoyed 121 points victory over visiting Oklahoma City Thunder, who got 100 points. Sacramento Kings lost their game against Indiana Pacers 106-100 points yesterday. And today you have Cleveland Cavaliers against Phoenix Suns. Miami Heat will trade tackles with Dallas Mavericks. New York Knicks against Washington Wizards. San Antonio Spurs will be home against Denver Nuggets. LA Clippers will trade tackles with Minnesota Timberwolves. Those are the results and fixtures for you as far as basketball is concerned. Now, let's quickly talk about athletics, and this one came to me like a miracle, because it is a miracle. A British sprinter James Ellington say he does not know how he and his teammate actually survived a motorbike accident in Spain. Now, I have seen the pictures that they snapped. They are still in the hospital, and of course they've even told that the year 2017 from January to December they are not going to be competing, they are going to rest. But it's truly a miracle.
Yeah, you should just thank his God that, there are some accidents that so you survive. You just thank your God. Even if the doctor said you shouldn't, race for 2 years, all you need to do is to get yourself back in order for you to get back strong, because it's not really, really easy. Well, I thank God for their lives, but all the same, I think they should be more careful, when racing. By the time they return back to the racing sport, they should be very, very
sprinters,
careful. Because we've seen some, in the motorbike racing, the way, the somersaults, by the time
they had a motorbike accident. They are sprinters and they do the track and field event. Yeah. So, but they weren't actually racing. Normal.
They were on a motorbike and they were hit by a car head on. And they said the car was driving on the wrong side of the road. They had gone to Spain for warm weather training.
Okay, training.
Yeah, they are in Spain at the moment. That's when the accident happened, and it's really sad. We had the sprinter James Ellington. He had a suspected broken leg in 2 places, and they also have a suspected broken pelvis. But of course, they're waiting for the experts to really examine them, then give the final verdict on the severity of their injuries. But when you see pictures of them in hospital, you've got to really thank God that they are still alive, because a motorbike accident, even a motorbike to a motorbike, it's sometimes fatal. But when you have a car having an accident head on with a motorbike, and they tell you that the 2 people on the motorbike survive, then you've got to just say it's a miracle. Thank God, and we hope that Ellington and Nigel Levin are going to be 100%. It's even good and really heartwarming that already they are posting Instagram messages, they are tweeting, they are using the social media on their hospital bed. I saw their pictures, and their spirits are really high, giving the thumbs up sign and all that. So we just hope that accidents like this do not happen again.
Okay, now to Formula One, where former world number one Lewis Hamilton has bagged his new teammate, the Valtteri Bottas. Says that the teammate should be able to step into the big shoe left by, he's still the world champion, though, because he has not been displaced, though he will not be competing this year. Nico Rosberg.
Yeah, good one. Valtteri Bottas is also a good driver. He drove with Williams before, switching to Mercedes. And now he has one of the best cars, to race in this season. So for me, I think it's going to be a good pair between the both of them, because Valtteri Bottas also is a very, very good result. For somebody that made the podium 9 times with Williams Mercedes, I think this time with Mercedes is going to make another podium. But all the same, let's see if he can give Lewis Hamilton that tough, fight that Nico Rosberg, retired Nico Rosberg gave Lewis Hamilton all through before he eventually won the World Championship.
Okay, let's hope so. Anyway, let's take a pause from us now in the studio. Let's get to hear from the fans via the SMSs.
All right, some of them pouring in. This one says, Mr. Ibrahim, you are very right. Not happy at all. I was at the edge of my seat in that 4th set. Why will Nova keep us in suspense? Confidence he will win this set, Spencer. Well, Spencer, he lost that set, so they are in the 5th set now. Yeah. He's won the first game, but we've got Istomin deuce in the second game, so we'll have to wait and see what happens. Good morning, August of Sports. Happy to see Liverpool FC back to winning ways. I hope this win will see Liverpool win their next 4 home games in 10 days. We will never walk alone from Oluwadare. All right. 3 matches without a win. This is the beginning of Real Madrid downfall. Zidane will regret why he said they are going for the treble. Almighty Barca in my blood. Too nice from UK. Yeah. We understand where you're coming from. Good morning, guys. Please update me. Chelsea man from Ogida. Okay, this one reads, good morning, Sports Machine. When I see the results of matches in the Nations Cup, it makes me sad. Nigeria will have lit up the tournament. DSL from Upper Sakbomba. All right. Good day, Francis, Ibrahim, and Eghosa. Memphis Depay going to Lyon is a good development to United. I wonder why United will play game without the number 7 jersey on the pitch. I can't see Griezmann wearing that number for United. Up KUFM, Matthew from Aurora. Good morning, my sports trio. I beg my brother Ture, who do you this thing? It no go better for because I still they wonder waiting make you no take that offer. Be be African. No mind Ruben hunger no day in country from Vincio Emission Road. All right. Good AM. Na true say Mark Dim. Who is Mark Dim? Okay, Mike Dean. Okay, he said Mike Dean. Mike Dean don't go championship side up. Mark Dean. I think it is Mark Dean. Don't go championship side up. If I Uber and more goals to come because of our money and Nigeria football rule is always starts with 13 points B to Walambele. Valembeo from Ugbawa. I really support the Bracadabra that the Northern Africa has so much when it comes to them playing against themselves. Remember Algeria and Egypt in the last World Cup qualifier, it was like a war. Ijon in a Kenwa Road up Liverpool. Okay, I think we have all these messages being sent twice. Good morning, guys. Please update me. Okay. I think we've taken that one too. Please, when you send your message, make sure it's just once. Got getting so many repeated messages. Okay, I think those are the messages for now. We'll search for more and take them.
Okay, all right. Of course, the fifth set now stay on between Djokovic and Istemi, and it's 1-1 in the very first game of the fifth set. And of course, Djokovic just won the second game of the fifth set right now. So it's 2-1, and of course, you're taking just a quick rest there. When they come back again, it will be Istemi 7. And of course, as we stay in the studio as much as we can, we'll keep you abreast with what is going on right there in the Australian Open. Of course, one of the best tennis players will be playing later today. That is Rafael Nadal. And of course, we've seen Roger Federer moving to the next round. Andy Murray, currently the world number 1, has moved to the next round. We've seen David Ferrer moving to the next round. Of course, we've also seen some great lads, like you just mentioned, Manu Selic, former US Open champion, being knocked out of the tournament. And of course, earlier, while we were talking, the elder brother of Andy Murray was actually knocked out in the doubles, and of course he lost to Suarez and Query earlier, just now before game of things actually won this game.
Yeah, Jamie Murray he paired with Suarez. He paired with Suarez.
But Suarez paired with Query.
No, it was Sam Query and Young who defeated Jamie Murray and Suarez. So for me, I think they lost that double. But when it comes to doubles, I think Jamie Murray is one very, very good player. But all the same, every time you don't get it right all the time. So for me, I give congratulations to Sam Query and Young, who both knocked out the Murray and Suarez. So all the same, it was a nice game, though they lost that game. I think it's 3 sets.
Okay, the game resumed right now. Of course, Djokovic is not the one serving, Istemi as the one serving. And of course, let's just keep with you with this game. Let's see if we can see the outcome of this particular Australian Open game before we leave the studio. We have less than 5 minutes to do so.
While we're watching the game, remember Louis van Gaal? He said he had retired, but now he has said that
he's on a sabbatical.
He's not retired. He's actually on a sabbatical. So he will be coming back after the sabbatical. Remember that Pep Guardiola also took a sabbatical when he left Barcelona. He stayed for, I think, a season without having anything to do with football before he decided to go to Bayern Munich. So Louis van Gaal, too, although he told us that his daughter lost her husband and that's why he had to take that sabbatical. Initially, the reports were that that's why he retired, to be with his daughter and all that. But now he said he's not done with the beautiful game. He will still come back, but he just needs some time off.
Yeah, of course. He also said that his sweetest, greatest moment was when he won the FA Cup with Manchester United.
Really?
I don't know how
that is his sweetest, greatest moment.
That's what he said.
In Manchester United.
Or probably
is it in his
entire
But according to the report
career
from BBC, that was the way they wrote it. So I was asking myself, when you won the Champions League with Ajax,
and even when he took Holland to the World Cup, when he beat Spain 5-1, were those not
the Flying Dutchman from that game, Robin van Persie, that goal, to me, is still one of my best goals I've seen in football. One of the best. I don't know. Basically, I think Van Gaal, to me, if I were to be in his shoes, I would have just retired. Not because I'm not good enough, not because I don't still have a whole lot to do. I mean, you've made a whole lot of money, and of course, right now, those philosophy, yes, it didn't work in England. It can still work somewhere else, except you're going to China, and of course, going to the Chinese Super League.
There are so many players that have so many coaches that have achieved great things and they still want to achieve more. I mean, if Arsene Wenger is still in the business, why should Louis van Gaal retire? I think Louis van Gaal is 65.
65, yeah.
You can still coach for like 5 years.
We've got Arsene Wenger 67 or so. Yeah, I think Wenger is older than him, and Wenger is still there. So, well, I think he should stay on for some time. Maybe until
68, 70.
Until he gets to 70, yes.
68, 70.
This one just came in, this text message. It says, if to say clubs from Chinese league, they sign sports analysts Mr. Ibrahim, Eghosa and Francis Nafodon be the first people to submit their curriculum, but give Shanghai Shenhua just to receive 500,000 weekly deal. True or false? This is from Mr. Mercedes from Agbo Park. Mr. Mercedes, if I were your brother and you hear that I have an offer for 500,000 pounds a week, and I tell you because of one reason or the other I will not be going, what will you do to me?
Okay.
We've got Jesse from Sapele. He says, good morning, guys. I hope your night was great. I'm happy to hear from you guys this year. Up Bassa. Well, Jesse, it's been a long time that we heard from you, so welcome back. Thank you very much. We are doing fine. This one reads, good morning, guys. What about Serena? Did she progress? Hilarious from War. Yeah, she progressed, but she will be playing later today. Yeah, so we'll give you but she's still in the competition. She won her earlier game. Good morning. Why more stadium looks scanty in this year's AFCON? CAF is not doing enough to promote the AFCON through much marketing like the Euros are doing. Kachi from Sapele Road. Okay, hello, Guy Ibrahim. Please, I have an inspirational audio speech of Jose Mourinho that I want to send to you so that you can add it to your anthems. It is very short and inspiring. I'm very sure you would like to have it. So how can I send it? Man U99 from GRA. Okay, we'll talk about that later. Good morning, my best sports crew. Please, what happened to Warri Wolves? There is Akano Timothy from Oshogbo in Osun State, up Chelsea, up Man United, up Jose Mourinho. I don't quite understand what you mean. What happened to...
They were relegated last
season, so they're in the Nigerian National League now.
Morning sport presenters, I am Steven Jr. I just want to confirm something. If a player wants to score a goal and if the player was standing in offside position and he fired a shot and the goalkeeper points it and that one standing offside scores it, will it be a goal or offside? I'm not quite sure I understand the question. But if a player is offside and the assistant referee will raise his flag and it means he's offside. So except if you are telling us maybe the assistant referee does not see it, in which case it will stand as a legitimate goal. But if a player is offside, it means he's offside. And some of the new rules that they brought in, they said even if the player that takes the shot, if he's not offside, but there is a player that is offside and he interferes with the goal, maybe he obstructs the goalkeeper's line of vision and the ball goes in, then the goal will be disallowed. And that was the argument that Arsene Wenger was bringing when Manchester City played against Arsenal and they won. You know, the shot that went in, David Silva, it appeared as if he was interfering, but replay showed that he wasn't, so that goal was allowed.
Okay, all right, it's time for us to take our final whistle this morning.
Our first half performance was not worthy of indomitable lions. It was more like tame lions. I have never seen such a weak team. There was nothing, no aggression, no fight. But I think we deserve to win the game on the basis of our second half. We came here to get through the group. Cameroon coach Hugo Broos speaking after his 2-1 win over Guinea-Bissau in the African Cup of Nations on Wednesday. And that's the final whistle on Sports Fiesta this morning.
All right, of course, when you hear that, it's time for us to leave the studio. The game between Istumi and Djokovic is still very much on. It's getting difficult by the game, but I believe Djokovic and, of course, Istumi will find a way to win either way. Anyway, thank you so much for sending your SMSs in. Of course, many thanks to my strike partners, the Ibracadabra of Sports, Alihu Ibrahim, and Eghosa Eghosa, the Sports Maestro. I am the Sports Berlusconi. Sadofi Francis saying that you have yourself a great Thursday ahead. Bye for now.